Hi everyone. Yet another super amazing biology live class on the wonderful and beautiful platform of Adhyalaya. So today we are going to deal with the topic vacuoles. All right. So yes, what are we learning? We are learning vacuole. So let us draw one cell. Okay. Let's say this is a cell. Now in this cell, what do you have? Everything what you get in cell, that will be there, right? So let's say this is the nucleus. So this is animal cell because I have placed nucleus at the center, right? Now this is cytoplasm. Our topic to be discussed is what? Vacuole. Yes, our topic to be discussed is vacuole. Now let's say there is some food, which has been taken in by the cell, right? Remember, what do we call it? We call it what? Phagosome. We call it what? Phagosome. Right? Having food in it. So small, there will be several small phagosome. There will be so many small phagosome having little food, right? Now, what if they all are fusing? They all are fusing. They all are fusing, and surrounded by the they all are fusing and surrounded by primary lysosome. They all are fusing, and even the primary lysosome is fusing with that. So it becomes what? Secondary lysosome, heterophagosome, right? You can call it as digestive vacuole. And my dear children, same thing is your food vacuole. Got it? So I hope you do not have any doubt in what is food vacuole, right? Little food which is there inside the cell in the form of phagosome, they will become big, one vacuole, big. So they all will fuse. Membrane will fuse, the content will come together. Then primary lysosome will fuse, it becomes secondary lysosome. You also call it as digestive vacuoles, right? Or heterophagosome. And you can also call it as food vacuole. Got it? So this is one vacuole. Second one, let's say I have this cytoplasm content over here, and I have a membrane bound structure which has embedded this fluid content, right? So what will I be calling it? The fluid content of the cell. You call it as sap, cell sap, cytosol, right? Cell sap. So if the cell sap is bounded by a membrane, you will call it as sap vacuole. Sap vacuole. The membrane of vacuole, you should know what is it called as? Tonoplast. Tonoplast. Now you tell me that this is cytoplasm content only, right? Even this is cytoplasm content. Yes? Yes. Now, if it has to get something from outside, it will have to transport it, right? It will have to transport it. So it has few things already. And now if it requires something more, it has the molecules already. If it requires something more, how it will get? I am giving you this, that here the concentration is high. Sap vacuole, right? So it knows here sap was more. So here the concentration is more. Now since here concentration is more, less area, concentration will be more, right? In less area, if you have more things, concentration will be more. So from low to high, it wants things. Tell me, across the tonoplast, the movement will be active or passive? Will it be done by pump or not? Tell me. So it will be done by pump, right? Okay, active. Yes, Azam. All right, because the movement will take place from lower concentration to higher concentration. I hope you are understanding the meaning of concentration. You have 1 liter of water and you have added 2 spoons of sugar. You have 1 glass of water and you have added 2 spoons of sugar. Which has more concentration? That 1 glass of water having 2 spoons of sugar. Is it not? Solute is same in both, but still, which solution is more concentrated? The glass of water having 2 spoons of sugar. Not 1 liter of water having 2 spoons of sugar. Got it? So across the tonoplast, the movement takes place actively through the pump. Cool? So this is our sap vacuole. The other one we learned food vacuole. Right? Now let's say there is a vacuole which is empty. There is a vacuole which is empty. Okay? Empty means gases are there. Gases, empty. Right? Now, these will help in what? Providing buoyancy. These will help in providing buoyancy. Means, if this is present in a cell, what will it give? Buoyancy. It will not let the cell sink into the water. It will not let the cell sink into the water. So it will give mechanical strength to the cell. It will not let the cell sink into the water because gases are there. I gave you the example of balloon, right? Balloon has air blown inside. You try to dip it into the water. You will never be able to do it, my dear children. Why? Because it is getting buoyancy. Okay, by the gases which are filled in the balloon. Same way, imagine this gas vacuole as the balloon. Gas vacuole is the balloon. And the fourth vacuole, what we discussed? The fourth one, what did we discuss? Which we get in freshwater protista like amoeba, which can maintain the osmoregulation. How much water should come in? When to give out water? What is that? Fourth one. First one, food vacuole. Second, sap vacuole. Third one, gas vacuole we discussed. Fourth one, contractile vacuole. Awesome, yes. Fourth one, contractile vacuole. Right? So where do you get them? In protista, right? Algae. The organism which are found in water. Why? Because that will help in entry and exit of water. It helps in maintaining osmoregulation. What is osmoregulation? Maintaining solute and solvent concentration. How much fluid should be there? How much salt should be there? Right? Maintaining solute and solvent concentration. That is osmoregulation. And that is done with the help of contractile vacuole. So these are the 4 types of vacuoles which you get in the cell. Any doubt is there in the topic vacuole? So endosymbiont theory. What it talks about? Endosymbiont theory. You can see, right? It's a theory. Talks about something happened inside the body of eukaryote. What? Symbiosis, right? Symbiotic relation. Between what? Between the eukaryotic cell and the prokaryotic cell, right? Why? Because Mitochondria structure if you see, chloroplast structure if you see, plastid structure if you see, the ribosomes there are not of ATS. That made people think that from where it has come. And then they started to think and came to the conclusion of endosymbiotic theory as they were showing the similarities to prokaryotes. So ancestor was having no structure like mitochondria and chloroplast. So they divided it into two types of cells. The eukaryote which cannot do photosynthesis, the eukaryote which can do photosynthesis. The one which was not doing photosynthesis took prokaryote which was non-photosynthetic in nature. Came inside, started to give us ATP, we felt very good, got the benefit. So let that be our body organ. So it became mitochondria. Then for another cell, which is photosynthetic in nature, so it got both. It took non-photosynthetic prokaryote, made it as mitochondria. It took photosynthetic prokaryote and made it as plastids, right? Plastids. Yes, the one which has chlorophyll, which does photosynthesis, that plastid is called as chloroplast. This is how endosymbiotic theory is justified for mitochondria and plastids. Got it? In today's class, what did we learn? We learned about what? We learned about types of vacuoles which are found in the cell and endosymbiont theory. Because mitochondria, chloroplast, they show similarities with the prokaryotes. They have double-stranded circular DNA. They do not have ATS ribosomes as eukaryotes do. So these similarities prove that yes, they are. So that is all for today. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about mitochondria and chloroplast in detail. So stay tuned. If this video was helpful for you, please do subscribe and like, right? And share it to those who are needy, right? Yes, thank you so much. Bye-bye.